Okay, guys, I'm finally back with another David update. It's a small update, but I think it is actually a very interesting piece of news that is relevant to perhaps the possibility that David is taking some precautionary moves in anticipation of having a big problem on his hands. Okay, because this is the latest news that's popped off on TMZ. Apparently, David is putting his assets, he's putting his homes, he's putting the properties, all of that stuff into his mama's name. Now, we've heard this kind of thing from athletes going through divorces. You know, there's all these different stories about athletes that he put everything in his mom's name so he couldn't lose it in the divorce. They put everything in this person's name so they couldn't get it taken by the feds. You know, whether it's gangsters, athletes, rich people be moving the assets around because they know, hey, I need to stay out of trouble. I need to make sure that no one can take my crib if it goes left. It's possible. In my opinion, it's possible that this could be a precautionary move because he knows that some heat's coming. Now, let's see what they said in the article, and then we'll look at some of the reaction on Reddit, because it's not a Trap More Ross video if we don't analyze the discourse around these things you want to say. I'll just talk about Reddit, but this is on TMZ, and then we are going to go to Reddit to see what the people, okay, because it matters what the people think. But this says, David is making some real estate moves as cops investigate the death of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas, whose decomposing corpse was found in his Tesla. Notice they didn't say dismembered this time. They're backtracking on the dismembered now. He transferred 2 of his Texas homes to his mother. Now, this guy was getting some serious money, okay? He had 5 billion streams when this all went down. He was getting to the bag. He was getting millions. He apparently got a $3 million advance. He's making hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars every single month from his music career. He's got multiple homes in Texas. He's getting it, okay? He's getting to the bag. But apparently, according to new legal docs obtained by TMZ, and TMZ be getting all the fresh stuff off the presses, man, the singer transferred the deeds to 2 Houston area residents he owns under a trust to his mother. David made the changes on September the 18th and September the 22nd, and the 18th was the very same day that the cops were called to one of his homes for the swatting incident. The caller, who was apparently using a device to mask their voice, falsely reported a shooting and said that there was a dead female victim, okay? It looks like his parents and his siblings are already living in one of the homes. When cops showed up for the swatting call, his parents answered the door and told police that David's younger brother and sister were upstairs, okay? The LAPD executed a search warrant at the LA home where David was renting, where he was living on September the 17th, and then they're just going to recap and rehash all of the stuff that we already know. But that is an interesting development, okay? He's putting properties into his parents' name. Who knows? Who knows if there's a civil suit? All right. When we saw the O.J. Simpson situation, unfortunately, you know, the family of not just not just O.J. Simpson's wife, Nicole, ex-wife Nicole, or whatever, however you want to call it. There was another man who lost his life that night, Ron Goldman, and his family went to war with O.J. Simpson. Yeah, O.J. beat the criminal trial, but they whooped him in a civil case for being responsible for the death, and they chased him to the grave, trying to get money out of him, trying to get basically any profiteering that he was doing. OJ tried to write a book. If I really did it, this is how I would have done it. And they said, hey, no pennies moving through them accounts until we get our taste, because we're not allowing you to just basically just ride off into the sunset and make millions of dollars. So it's possible that this move is actually being done for the same reason, because who knows if a civil suit is coming for this Celeste thing. Right, so this is going around in the r/entertainment subreddit. Okay, this isn't the David subreddits, right? This isn't confined to the David sphere, as he said, the David universe, as he was saying. Okay, people are reacting. It says, I feel as if my "I am definitely not a murderer" t-shirt is prompting questions which are frankly answered by the shirts. Okay, they got a good sense of humor over in here. People are saying he definitely did it. No other reason to be doing this other than expecting something really bad happening. Yeah, like an expensive court battle. I think he probably did it, but guilty or not, it is not going to be cheap. People are saying there's only so much he and his lawyers can do to draw out a criminal case. If they intentionally obfuscate, that's a big word, man. I'll get my dictionary out for that one. Or delay, it will piss off the judge. So he got a lot of bread. He's going to need to spend a lot of money on lawyers. He already allegedly is spending a lot of money on lawyers, and it could get much worse. People are saying this is a tough one. On one hand, it's his girlfriend found in a car that he abandoned, but on the other hand, he says he didn't do it. Truly a mystery. People are saying caveat, his underage girlfriend. Okay, people are saying I'm still innocent until proven guilty guy, but David, you ain't looking too hot right now. Innocent in the eyes of the law, but suspicious as F. Okay, they're saying, why do they call every black artist a rapper? I think that is actually interesting because a lot of people have been calling him a rapper, but he's a singer here, R&B dude, all right? He ain't a rapper, but it doesn't really matter. Okay. Pointing out her age. People are saying, I have no idea how he hasn't been arrested now. Police are struggling to find non-circumstantial evidence. The body was badly decomposed, which doesn't help. Okay, can't wait to see this loser's interrogation on YouTube. That is going to be a crazy day, man, when his interrogation comes out. And it's a state case, so we might actually get our hands on that at one point. I don't know if California will be releasing interrogation videos. It says at this point he's all lawyered up, so he likely knows it's much better than to actually talk. But the question is, will he make a song about it? They're saying the Explore With Us video on David is going to be good. Okay, and it definitely is going to be crazy. They're saying this dude's an idiot. It's giving that he's going to turn himself in, but he wants to get rid of all his assets so her family doesn't get anything in restitution, or he's going to go on the run and doesn't want to have his money frozen. People are saying, I think the police aren't arresting anyone because they know they effed up on their end when the news came out that 911 was called multiple times to her family home before she even ran away. Everyone failed her. Who knows? Maybe the police are trying to cover their back for not acting in the way that they maybe should have. Okay, but over in the David 2 subreddit, they're reacting to this news. Okay, not going to lie, it's been dry. Okay, it's been dry over in the subreddits about David. Everyone's looking for new information. This is actually, for such small news, this has got a big response. Okay, it's got 135 comments. It says, why would that need to happen unless you know you're not going to be able to take care of those homes soon? It said, in case he gets sued, he technically won't have any assets, but apparently this act is illegal. It's called fraudulent conveyance. Not sure why they would do this, being that one of the parents works in the legal field. What if the trust already included the parents, but it still looks fishy, of course. People are saying there was a deleted post because it doxed where David was staying in Texas and the car he was driving, likely talking about this. It's likely he knows he's going to be arrested soon and is moving his assets around. Maybe it's for when he's out of money and they can't foreclose on his house. Okay, it says this is wrong on so many levels. They're literally stalking our subreddit. Somebody says, I didn't believe it before, but I think they do check the sub and then maybe fact check LMAO, because why didn't they publish this sooner before people came out with this info on here? The only person actually coming out with this new info is that private investigator guy. Okay. This guy said, I already posted on Reddit that his house was under a trust, and I even alluded to it having something to do with his music, the name of the trust. If you knew the name, you would know that it was him who came up with it. There would be no denying who made up the name of the trust, but it was already in place back in 2023, so TMZ is late to the party. I already disclosed the house was under trust on Reddit previously. TMZ is late, LOL, but to be fair, I did not look up his parents' house they live in now, which is a few miles away from where we live. I live 8 miles from David's house and the house. His parents live a few miles more up the road from us, so honestly, I didn't really care to look, you know, because it didn't really spark my interest. You know, it's his family, but I might get bored perhaps and look through the county records just to see. I found his family's names through other public records. That's how I found out his dad is not an attorney like David said he was in a previous interview. I looked up licenses on the Texas State Bar. I feel like I'm repeating myself 500 times, but anyway, I'm a local here. I've lived here for 16 years, but I never knew David lived 8 miles from me until he was linked to her death in the news. David, man, you got the locals. Even the locals are looking into you, man. This is not good, okay? It's not good, all right? Not looking good. I don't think he's done one thing that wasn't extremely suspicious since they found Celeste. I wonder why an innocent person would do this. Sarcasm, by the way. Okay, sure, his legal team probably advised him not to say anything, but his actions are definitely suspect as hell. Is this in any way going to be able to be used as evidence for the trial, or would it be considered unrelated? I guess when your label isn't paying you and your career's falling apart for being a gross human, all he's left with are the assets that he wants to try and keep. People saying, yeah, this is illegal. He's so guilty, gearing up for civil suits. I bet that's what people are saying. They're saying, wonder if this will be the second O.J. Simpson trial, in that it can't be proved that David killed Celeste, but he can be found responsible for her death. Okay, so this post, you know, it's piquing a lot of people's interest. It's one of the few bits of information that we seem to have had from David's camp. People are saying, why would he change the ownership to his mother's house? 2 of the properties that were in his name have been transferred into a trust registered under his mother's name. I have a feeling something significant is about to happen. It just feels like he's preparing for something, like he knows he's going to lose everything and wants to make sure his family is taken care of. Perhaps trying to block out losing the house to a civil suit. Even if he manages to get off with criminal charges, he could be found liable in civil court. People say, I don't know why, but Mama made me chuckle. Okay, it's nothing funny about this. Maybe he's setting everything up for his family before the grand finale. My guts are telling me confession will follow. Sometimes I believe he wanted us to know. I feel like he's going to himself, okay? Yeah, a lot of people thought that, man. Lol, they can do this all they want. My ex owns a home and owes me 60 grand in child support. It doesn't matter, especially when it's not a primary house. Say they have 3 homes. First is open to scrutiny on whether you can pierce the veil for his parents' interests. It's hard to take away sometimes someone's primary home in Texas. However, second and third houses, good luck, David. Also, why isn't your lawyer doing that for you? Interscope didn't hook you up with asset management lawyers like R. Kelly and Diddy. His lawyer is trying to only keep him out of jail, not managing assets, which seems like a big issue for innocents. Civil suits incoming no matter what Interscope David, maybe his parents, I'd guess his parents too. Civil suits get you a lot of leeway in regard to getting answers, and it can also lead to criminal charges because you're sworn in. Lie? Perjury. Take the fifth? Sus, because what did you do that you can't incriminate yourself on? People saying definitely preparing for something. Okay. Says, well, he won't be living there. He's about to get a nice studio apartment with a roommate, maybe for life. So good for them. Okay. The only other post that I've seen in the David subreddit that I thought was interesting was this one, where they're basically saying that this was the show that he played on September the 9th, a day after the body was found in his car. They're saying, I bet this piece of S was nervous as F. He had a stupid, sheepish grin and sunglasses on the whole time during the show, and people are saying he looks sus. All right, I ain't gonna lie, he looks pretty normal there if you ask me. But yeah, this. Oh my god, that's actually wild. I'm not even gonna read that. But look, okay, this is an interesting development. I do think that it's highly possible that there will be a civil case coming. Okay, maybe it's a protection of assets thing. Maybe it's a just stay out the way. Don't want more people having scrutiny of where he's living. Maybe he's going to live somewhere else privately. He's going to try and stay out of the spotlight. I really just wonder what this guy's day-to-day life is like. No doubt he's tapped in. He's definitely on the Reddit. He's definitely on Discord, you know. Well, in my opinion, he's probably just chilling, kicking back, reading Reddit, watching videos, watching some of the Trapmore Ross videos about this situation, probably checking out Turkey Tom's video, Patrick CC's video, probably leaving a little cheeky comment here and there. It actually is wild, okay? It's crazy. I would love to know what his life has been like over the last few weeks, what he's dealing with. That's not me having sympathy or anything like that. I just want to know how this guy's moving. Like, what is he doing all day? Is he recording music? Is he chilling with his family? Is he having fun? Is he just freaking out? Is he crying all day, every day? Is he preparing his assets? It's bizarre. I really, really wonder what he's getting up to. But look, okay, that's the latest update. Apparently he's moving around his assets. That could be a sign of something big to come. We're still all waiting for an update from the police, but it's possible we might not hear anything ever. This might end up being a cold case. And really, that would actually be a massive disappointment in the authorities to not even be able to solve this thing and give the family some kind of closure. But anyway, if I hear anything else, I'll be sure to let you guys know. All right, we're on 24-hour David watch over here. Okay, some people are on EDP watch. I'm on David watch. All right, I'm straight David timing. Okay, anything that happens, I ain't seen nothing move without updating you guys. Okay, so I'll be here to update you diligently on everything going on. I know I haven't uploaded that much in the past couple of days. I've just been living life. A couple of my friends are in town. We've just been hanging out, catching up, talking about real life stuff. So, you know, look, I'm going to lock in. I'm going to have more videos. I might do a stream soon. I've got a few ideas because I felt a little bit stagnant recently with some of the topics. And I really want to mix it up and do some experimental stuff for you guys, man. There's a lot of other things I'm interested in, so I might do a couple of experimental videos for you guys soon. I might just talk about life. I might just talk about some of the things that I've gone through in this YouTube game. So let me know what you think, man. I might let you into some of the stuff that I deal with on a day-to-day basis, you know, what it's like running a YouTube channel, running a team, all of that stuff. Let me know if you want to hear about that, man. I'll keep you guys updated. There's a lot of good things coming very soon. Stay tuned.